Welcome, everyone, to the Chasta and Huey podcast. It's like hanging out with your childhood buddies at a dive bar having a beer together. Throw your headphones. Or better yet, they're like a security blanket. Maybe a little itchy, but still warm and cozy. It's time for the show. Here's Chasta and Huey. Cheers.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. Happy Monday. Cheers. Cans are all over the ground. It's Cinco de Mayo, so it feels nice. How are you, sister?
I'm good. Cheers. First off, also, I need a beer right now.
I had a beer. You had a Tecate yesterday. I saw you when you were out. I was like, yes, Tecate was my beer in college.
Well, that's the thing. It's Bomb Hill had a great beer selection. So I had like I think it was like a Firestone IPA, but that was like $10. I was like, damn, man. A little pricey for a beer, but it's like, why not? Sunday matinee, Sunday fun day, as the kiddies say.
That's right.
I downed that, and then I was like, okay, let me go back. And then when I was at the bar, I saw they had a bunch of Tecate cans on the back wall area. I was like, oh, I'll take a Tecate. And sure enough, it was very tasty to kick off my Cinco de Mayo celebrations.
Absolutely, yes. When I was in college, Natty Light. I was a Natty Light girl because you could buy a case for, I don't even know, $8. It was ridiculous. But if I ever had good money, I would get Tecate. I thought it was high living. If I'd go buy Tecate and get lime and salt and do the rim and the whole nine, it was
okay.
Like, the bitch has got class. You know what I mean? Like, she knows what she's doing in the beer world now.
I just remember in the early 2000s, coming out of high school, going to college, going to a lot of underground punk shows. Like PBR was the big thing with like all the Bay Area punk rockers at these different warehouse shows I would go to. Yeah, they would all come in with like 12, 24 packs of PBR, or they would sell PBR at the show. Like PBR was the big thing with the punk rockers. Obviously, it's known for being very cheap, but at the time, I was like, oh, everyone else is drinking, I'm gonna drink it. And it was good.
No,
at the time,
thing.
Yeah, totally. And then
hipster thing. I don't really know how that transition was made. Good marketing plan on them, though.
I know. And then what was the there was another. Was it Hams? Is that right? Hams beer.
I think so. Yeah.
I know. I think it was. I think Eli's Mile High Club was selling that. I remember going to shows there. They would sell that. And then, Budweiser was another one. A lot of the punk rockers would drink. And then it was not like a few years, Mickey's, another one, some malt liquor stuff. When I got a little bit older, that's when I discovered the champagne of beer, Miller High Life. So that's my go-to beer, Miller High Life, if that's available. I'm a good Hefeweizen beer drinker as well. So
I'm a Lagunitas girl. I'm an IPA girl in general, but Lagunitas for sure. Hey, by the way, did I miss Dan DeLay yesterday? I'm so pissed. Was he there? Dan, were you there? God dang it. How did I saw him? Someone posted pictures somewhere on Facebook this morning and tagged me. And I clicked and I was like, what? How did I miss Dan? Where was he?
He was like, he was like a Jedi master. He was like just floating around all around the venue. So
Bottom of the Hill is not that big. I felt like I got to see most people that were there. It was crowded, and I was eyes on Cody the whole time because, obviously Cody and his lightsabers, which we'll get into. I felt like I got to see a lot of people, but I was so distracted by him. I guess I missed Dan. So Dan, I really, you owe me a hug, bud. I'm super sad I didn't get a hug, but I did get 2 or 3 from Mr. Thomas Cruz, who's on the line.
Yes.
Fantastic show yesterday.
Which I do want to give Thomas a big shout out. I have it right here.
Oh, nice.
Shout out Thomas. He gave me the Dookie, Billy Joe Armstrong's Dookie pedal, 30th anniversary edition. So thank you, Thomas. That really means
rad.
So much to me. Thank you so much. It's just so cool. Now I can sound like Billy Joe Armstrong now.
Yeah, that's really freaking
How awesome is that? So thank you so much, man.
Such a love. He's such a super duper thoughtful guy. So Dan, you saw me? Dan saw me you were hella busy with Cody and I didn't want to bother you. Dan, if you ever say you don't want to bother me again, I will physically smack your face.
Just go tackle her. It's okay.
Yes. Are you kidding? Come on. I'm so sad I missed out on a Dan DeLay hug. Nothing but the best dookie for you, says Thomas. That's hilarious. You've got your State Line Empire Strikes Back shirt on. I threw mine in the wash, so mine's washing right now.
Dude, this is incredible. Like, this might be my new favorite shirt. So whoever came up with the idea to merge the two.
Scott.
Yeah, the two worlds, State Line Empire and Star Wars into one. It just rolls off the tongue perfectly. State Line Empire strikes back. And yeah,
so good.
Shout out to our buddy Greg, who owns TNT Printing, who printed these t-shirts. So soft. Like, I want to sleep in this now.
Soft and cozy. I know, that was the first thing I noticed when I picked them up. I was like, ooh, these are good. That sure looks so good on you. Thanks to Scotty for the idea and the design. Yeah, Scott Proctor, he is the man. By the way, he just texted me back. So he had a mission. I went up to buy vinyl from Black Map and nobody was there. And so Scott was like, what do you need? And I was like, I really want vinyl. So he got it for me. Thank you, Scott Proctor. I love you, buddy. You got yours? Yes.
So shout out Black Map, their new album Hex, it was an album release show yesterday for them at Bomb of the Hill, and technically it does come out on May 9th. And go to 1077 The Bones YouTube channel. First off, if you're watching this, subscribe to the Chasta and Huey YouTube channel. Then go to the Bones YouTube channel. Both are free to do so. Free. And yeah, watch our interview with Ben from Black Map we did last week. And yeah, this album will officially drop on May 9th. So go to a show, pick it up. Also check out their website, blackmapmusic.com, and stream it as well. Officially hits streaming platforms on May 9th.
Yep, we got it before it's even out. I've been singing
Hex.
Come Get It. I've been singing.
Come get it.
Yes, come get it. Cody and I were doing lightsaber wars when that song was on. It was really fun. We were a killer time. So it was great to see everybody. Saw so many friends yesterday. And I'm going to have to hit Scott on Venmo for my vinyl. So thank you, Scott Proctor, for that. All right, so we've got a lot to get into. We decided that we're going to do a little bit of rapid fire, Huey.
Whoa, wait a sec. You're missing the other big headline. You have a new member of the household.
Oh, yes, I do, Mr. Shorty. Yes, so over the weekend, we adopted a baby dog. That's my baby dog. That's what we keep saying now. That's my baby dog. So, yes, we went to, so backstory really quick.
Okay.
We lost our beloved Roxy, who was our pit bull. About a year and a half ago. And she was one of those dogs, new puppy. She was one of those dogs that is not a dog. You know, she was like, as they called her at the society, she was like a soul dog. You know, she was that dog. Can I pet that dog? Oh my God, Dad, we say that all the time. Thomas said it too. Can I pet that dog? We literally watch that video all the time in our house. So anyway, it took us to get, we're not over Roxy. I would never say we were over Roxy, but to get our hearts ready for another dog in the house after Roxy, it took about a year and a half.
I was going to say, how long's Roxy been gone now?
She passed away in September of 2023. So yeah, I know. Okay. So anyway, we've been talking about it for a couple of months, and Cody, you know, he's almost 9. He really wants a dog. We really want him to grow up with a dog, and we are big dog people.
Yeah.
And so on Saturday, we went to our godson Zeppelin's 6th birthday, and it was on the peninsula, like a couple miles down from the Humane Society. So of course it was the classic, let's just go look. Right? Let's just go stop, and we'll stop at the Humane Society.
Okay.
If it ever works. So we went and we looked at all the dogs. We went a couple rounds and we saw him last, and we were like, oh my God, are we really going to do this? And so we took him out, and long story short, they were like, he's really super shy. So it could take 10 minutes for him to warm up to you. He may just kind of hide in the corner. We're like, okay, no problem. They open the door and he beeline runs straight to us and starts licking my face. And they were like, clearly he knew you were pit bull people, because we're a pit bull family.
Yeah.
And so he was just great. He and Cody got along great. So we brought him home, and he's doing awesome. He slept through the night. He's peeing and pooing outside, which he wasn't potty trained, but he's doing great so far.
Okay.
And he hasn't destroyed anything major, only a little remote control to one of our lights, but that's no big deal. We weren't using it anyway. So he just purged it for us. And that's it. So
that's what Jay was telling me.
Yes, while we were at the show for 2 hours.
Yeah, Jay was telling me yesterday. Yeah, the like you guys went to go look at a bunch of dogs, and some, you know, were different level personalities and whatnot. But Jay said, yeah, that dog, your new dog Shorty, was the one that like actually ran up to you guys. So yeah, Jay said like that was the sign. It's like, okay, that's the one for Cody.
Yeah, and Jay says that he does the eye test. He like locked eyes with him to see if there was any like aggression or anything going on, like if he was going to be a little skitsy, because you never know with dogs, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying we even know, we've had him, you know, less than 48 hours. But so far so good. He's had no problems. Like we've taken food out of his mouth. We've taken toys out of his mouth. He had no problems. Cody has played with him a ton. So we'll see. But anyways, we're very excited about Shorty Will Michaelis.
And he's 11 months old. So really he's like super young and can really have just next many years growing up with Cody.
Yep, I already signed him up for training. So we've got puppy training, so that'll be good. So that's what we were saying. We're like, holy crap! Like if you think about it, we have him potentially, hopefully, fingers crossed. We had Roxy for 10 years. She passed away early because she had cancer. But if we have him for 10 years, we'll have him till Cody graduates high school.
Perfect. Okay.
Like what? So this Roxy and this will be his, and Shorty will be his two big dogs that
gotcha.
With, because Paisha and Axel, he was really young whenever they passed away.
Yeah. So, wow.
Remembers Axel, but not Paisha so much. So yeah. And this is Jay's 5th pit bull. This is only
really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had 3 with his practice marriage.
That's right. Yeah. I remember now that whole story.
3 pits at the same time. So that was a lot, but yeah, we're pit bull people. So very excited about our new member of the family. Speaking of on, I'm in a clinic meeting right now, so I have to jet soon. Stop now. I feel old thinking about Cody graduating. I know whenever we realized that, we were like, oh my God, holy crap. Yeah, Uncle Thomas there. Shorty will be living the best life. So this morning already, Jay got him out and they went to the pet store and bought like 3 new toys and more treats and a harness. This dog, he has no idea. We got new crates and new bedding and he's got everything. He's set up.
Okay, that's awesome.
Tire he's chewing on.
So, okay, and Cody had to go to school today. So I know yesterday he was like antsy to get home to see his buddy.
Very antsy.
So today, tough going to school, like, oh, I don't want to leave my dog.
The first thing Cody woke up and jumped out of bed and was like, "Where's Shorty?" And he was out in the backyard, and I was like, "He's outside. He's going pee-pee." And he ran out and like looked at him and was like, he's very curious. He's cautious. Cody's because we have taught him to be that way. Like be very cautious. So he's being very, careful and cautious. He doesn't want to run up on him and scare him and stuff. So he's being really good.
So for Cody, this is his responsibility, right? This is his dog. That's what Jay was telling me.
Yep, we had that conversation. Yep. Picking up the poo and helping us feed and go. He walked him for the first time yesterday, which by the way, like, I don't want to jinx myself, knock on wood. This dog, he doesn't react to anything. Like he's just floppy. Like we were, walking down the road and you have all these dogs barking like through fences. We didn't see a ton of dogs barking at him through a fence. And he's just like, and it just keeps going. Like wasn't barking back, didn't stop down, didn't pull.
Okay.
Because I was holding onto the leash because, it was our first walk, but Cody was walking him. Yeah. So I was ready and nothing. So fingers crossed that continues. We'll see. Okay. I'll give you guys updates. Roxy was and is an angel, Thomas. Yes, she really was. Thankful that Cody has a new buddy to grow up with. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Michaela's coming out in July. She booked her flight. Did you book your flight, baby? I think she was. So she's ready. She is ready to be out here. Michaela's, and I think State Line has a gig the 2nd of August in Sacramento, if I remember right.
And I do want to shout out State Line Empire. If you missed them yesterday, June 7th at the Caravan Lounge with Drawing Heaven with some Mr. Dan DeLay there.
That's right. They also have Jay in Rusty Chains has a gig at Retro Junkie, May 16th. Not this weekend, but the following weekend, Friday the 16th.
Okay.
Wait, you and I haven't been to Retro in a while.
I know it's been a minute, so
I haven't seen Rusty Chains. I haven't seen Jay play in Rusty Chains.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Last time I think I was there for that No Doubt tribute band. I think that might have been the day Soundwaves was filming stuff there. That's right. Yeah, last summer,
probably a year ago. Yeah, I was going to say
Summer of Huey was like early stages right there.
Crazy Summer of Huey. Oh, we got to do that again. SLE Starlight in Sacramento. That's right, August 2nd. That's what I thought.
Okay,
it's got a lot going on. Rusty Chains at Retro the 16th with Ranchero. That's right, Ranchero's opening. That's going to be fun. Love the
Johan with his Cheetos tattoo on his side.
God bless him. I love that kooky man. He cracks me up. All right. Now that we've gotten our big breaking news out of the way, I'm a furry mommy all over again. We kind of have some backup. If you will, we need to get through some Huey helps because we've gotten some emails and we've been busy doing other things. So now I think we're just going to rapid fire if that's okay.
Okay, sure thing. Well, if that's the case, hold on one sec.
Okay. If you've got trouble, we've got the cure for what ails ya.
The Bay Area's bestie, Huey, is here with advice.
It's Huey Help.
Okay, I'm just going to go in order of which you sent them.
Okay.
We'll just go down the roster here. Okay. We've got Shannon, and this sucks. She's talking about family and money, which is never Never fun.
Mm-hmm.
After years of little to no contact, my family suddenly wants back into my life, and I'm pretty sure it's because they found out I'm about to come into some money. That sucks. They basically ignored me and my child for years, even when we lived close by. No invites to dinner, no birthday calls, just silence until now. They're calling, messaging, trying to play nice. I'm thinking of ghosting them, but I'd hate for my daughter to grow up with no family other than me. Oof, that's tough. How do I deal with their guilt trips and maybe let them into my life, but still protect myself? It's called Huey Help, so you get to go first.
I was just thinking, you got to create a game show. You just like take X amount of money and you tell everyone, all right, I know what you're all doing. You're all being super nice to me. Whoever's the nicest for the longest period of time wins the money at the end or something. Like just put up like a treasure or something. Like
if you know it's really a thing, you're just saying lean into it, basically.
Yeah. No, but all seriousness, no, it sucks because you hate dealing with fake people, especially family, if they're doing it just so they can get something out of you. So in this case, some money here. I just think, you got to test them. Like let this ride for a bit. Like go ahead. Have your interactions with them, spend time with them. Don't even bring it up. Like, don't even bring up that you got the money or when you get it or when it hits the bank account, all that stuff. Yeah. I think let their true intentions come to light on their own organically. So if there's at some point, they bring up like, hey, I need some money. I need to borrow some money or I need some money. Question them in that moment. No, I don't have any. I can't give it to you. And then let that. And then if they all of a sudden just like ghost you, start or want to hang out less in your life or disappear or interact with you less, then that shows their true colors. I think that's the thing. It's like continue being family members, talk, organize, or hang out, whatnot. But if the second that they bring up money or asking for money, then I think you have every right to call them out on it and be like, wait, are you only hanging out with me because you need money? Like, I think that's when you bring it up and then say, no, like I think you need to communicate and be strong and forceful in your opinion. But like, no, I only want people in my life who want to be with me. If you're only hanging out with me for money, no, that's not the case. I will take care of my family if I know if they deserve it. But if you're just using me for my money, then no, get out of my life.
Thomas just said, hang out with them and ask them to pay for things. Go to dinners and just don't grab the check. Have, what is it called? T-Rex arms? Have T-Rex arms.
Yes, exactly.
Can't get to your wallet. Okay, so there's a couple things here. Number one, in my opinion, I am a huge boundaries person. Huge boundaries person. And that means with them, but also with yourself. Like set your expectations early. You know what their intentions are likely. So you've got that in your head. You know where this could go. So if it doesn't go that way, then cherry on top, right? If they never bring it up and it's just that it just happenstance that they came back into your life, then great. But also rule number 2, trust your gut, man. Like your gut will always lead you down the right path. It will never steer you wrong. And so if you really in all your heart of hearts feel like this is where that's going, I think Huey's right. Let it play out and their true colors will come to the surface. They always do. Which is unfortunate and that will hurt your feelings. But as long as your expectations are where they should be, which it seems that they are since you're asking us and this, then you're not going to get as hurt. Don't get your hopes up that they're really in it for you or your daughter.
And I would just be straight up honest with them back. It's like, listen, I know I got some money. I know you guys know I have that money, but I wanted to see if you guys really want to be in my life for me and not because of that money. But the fact you're asking for that money, that shows your true colors and that's hurtful. Like be straight up with your emotions and how you're feeling. It's like, no, this is not right. And I want you guys to be in my life to be part of my kid's life. And so hopefully you guys be the bigger person and mature person in this situation and realize that. And like, that's my thing too. It's like, I think if you had money, you can always save that. If someone like is really truthful and being nice to you, then down the road, you can help them out if there's a money situation that they need help with. But if someone like right out the gates asks for money, then then that person cut them off.
You got to be careful and keep in mind, and this is like a whole nother topic, but like I'm a big believer in family, but I'm also a big believer in you choose your family, and just because people are quote unquote blood doesn't necessarily mean that has to be your family. I mean, you are my family. You know, Gianna and Pete and the kids, they're my family. Those are chosen family. You know, and I think it's really important for people to understand that you choose who your kids. I mean, Cody calls you Uncle Danny. Like he doesn't know any different. So just because they are quote unquote family, their blood, their family on paper, that doesn't mean that those are the only people that can represent those relationships to your daughter.
And that's the thing too. Do not feel pressure to cater to them only.
Yeah.
And be honest with your kids as well. Like, hey, I tried having a positive relationship with this person, but come to find out their true colors is they only want use me for my money. And that's not something I want to pass down to you. I don't want you to feel like you need to be in touch with these people because they're blood related. I want you to know that they're not good people. And this is a learning lesson too, if anything, to pass down to the kids.
Absolutely.
Who you put in your inner circle is really important, and trust them, you know, for the right reasons.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Okay. We're going fast and furious here. Let's see. This one I think is really interesting because I have real strong opinions on this one. So John said, when my wife and I bought our home, we loved how peaceful and private the backyard felt, even though the houses are close together. Our next door neighbor's yard sits a few feet higher, giving them a clear view down into ours. At first, it wasn't a big deal. We're friendly with them, but as their kids have gotten to know us, they've become more comfortable interacting with us, even when they're just trying to relax in our own backyard. I'm having a hard time even finishing this because I want to opinion. We get it. They're just being nice, but we miss having space that felt like our own. Is there a way to reclaim the privacy without seeming rude or starting tension with them?
Yes. Build a taller fence. Just block them out of the view. That's the thing. I just think of Home Improvement. Remember Wilson? Is it Wilson? Yeah, with Tim Allen, Tim Taylor, I guess technically from the TV show. But he would always look over and just start talking.
Eyeballs only.
Yeah, eyeballs. Hey, if it's really like, if you want privacy, then I would think just build a taller fence. Just I don't know what condition the current fence is in, but maybe make up an excuse like, hey, this fence is really bad. I need to get a new fence in here. And I want to go taller one too. I've always wanted a taller fence.
Yeah, I've always wanted a taller fence.
Maybe say, you know what? Hey, I like walking around my backyard nude. So I'm
gonna say, tell them you're gonna get down and dirty in your backyard. You don't want their kids to see.
Yes, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna be a nudist. I'm converting to be a nudist colony. I gotta practice.
Your family. I'm protecting you guys by putting up this. It's not about my privacy. It's about protecting you. So
your eyeballs.
I don't want anything to get awkward. Put it back on them. Make them be, because nobody's going to argue that.
The only other thing I could think of is like, maybe could you put a tent or something? Like,
I was going to say, put up greenery, put a bush up, like plants and stuff that will grow high. That's what we did because I hate neighbors. Sorry, and my neighbors watching. I don't hate my neighbors. I should clarify. I don't hate my neighbors. Actually, my neighbors are great. But I am a country girl at heart. I grew up without neighbors. So we didn't have anyone that lived around us. And so I'm not used to that. Even in Sulphur, when I got into high school and we moved into town, our closest neighbor was still 40, 50 feet. No, bigger, way far away. Far enough to be like not close. It wasn't until I moved to LA that I was like within like, right there distance to a neighbor. So I'm just not a neighbor's girl.
I would say in our backyard, we do have a big backyard, but the majority of the fences that surround like the three sides of our backyard, they're all pretty tall, except for this one little stretch of fence that goes to the back of one house. We have an interesting house, or our house. What? Yeah, it's like we're the last house on the block, and then all the other houses on our one side of the house are like perpendicular. So when if I'm looking directly in the backyard, to my left, I'm seeing the backyard of a stretch of homes, if that makes sense.
So can you see into their backyards?
Yeah, so there's one fence that's shorter than the rest. That's the one part of the fence or my backyard. I can like literally walk up and just look right down in the neighbor's yard right there.
People feel this way about you. That's what you're saying.
Technically, yeah. But the rest of the fence around are all tall, like 8 feet tall, if not taller. So that blocks out the rest of my neighbors. But it's just one house, that stretch of fence. And so if ever one day, if we were able to redo that fence, I would totally get taller fences, and that'll be the last one that don't have to see anymore in person.
Yeah, I'm rabidly protective of my space. Again, I'm a country girl, and also you and I, like, we do live in a public world, with our job, and I have had people show up to my front door, which is why I have an alarm system. And so I'm very protective. Once I'm in my home, and that includes my backyard, that is my space for me and my family only, unless I am inviting you into that space. And that means your eyes, ears, and your body. I don't do well with that. This is like, there are very few things I think left in my body that are country girl, but that is 100% like, get off my fucking property. I will, like, we don't do that. So I don't think you owe them an explanation necessarily, but if you really feel inclined, I think you just tell them, like, it's okay to want privacy in your own backyard.
Yeah, I want to do some nude sunbathing. I got these spots on my body that are pale white. I can't reach it. Yeah.
Right.
But can you get like a tent? Like, I'm thinking like a tent or some sort of, like, I don't know what you call it, where it's like, if like it zips up and like you can be all like hidden inside completely.
You could. I mean, that would really change the dynamic of your backyard. You know what you could do? You could get into gardening and make like a greenhouse and put it on that side so that it's taller than the fence and it blocks their view. There's a lot of things I think that you could do. They even make like I've seen on Amazon and Instagram before, they make like fake plants that it looks like a row of greenery, but it's not. You could put that up too. So there's options.
I was going to say, landscaping tips, please email us chastaandhuey@gmail.com.
Perfect segue. I love that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Mark, I am. This is interesting. This is a dating one. Get ready.
Okay.
I'm 40 years old, and recently a 26-year-old coworker asked me out. Yeah. Okay. I'll be honest. I do find her attractive. We get along great. And I said yes. But now that the initial excitement has worn off, I'm second guessing myself. I'm worried people at work will judge me or think I'm having some midlife crisis. I'm also wondering if the age gap will cause problems down the line, even though right now it doesn't feel like a big deal between us. Am I overthinking this, or is it smarter to walk away before it gets complicated? What did I say? 40 and 26.
Mm-hmm.
So
14 years. That's
14 years. I mean, is significant.
Yes.
Significant age gap. Jay and I are 8.5 years apart.
Because I'm just thinking, Mark, theoretically, he was a freshman in high school when his female coworker was born.
Can't think about that. Cannot. Don't think about that.
Still,
awkward.
But then that's like multiple generations. Like, I just try to think of like conversation, what to talk about, what your interests are. It's way apart. Like, think about it. Let's say Mark, he's a 90s kid.
Yeah.
This person, she's, late 00s, 2010s, stuff like pop culture references and things that she's into. Right. So that's not like concern. It's just what they're maybe into. They just have different interests or different references, pop culture reference. It just might be a little awkward there. But then again, there are young people we know who have, quote, old souls. And so I think a lot of people are into more like retro stuff. And so maybe for all we know, she might be she into all the same stuff he's into. I mean, then again, maybe this guy, he looks really young too, and that's the other thing. So maybe when they're out together, it doesn't look like that big of a difference. And I think once you hit past like your mid-20s, I think age is just a number at that point. But I just think, it's easier to date someone closer to your age. But if it's like more than like 2 or 3 presidential terms, then I think it's a little bit of a tougher ballpark to deal with.
That's a funny way to think about it. So I am very much on the age is just a number once you get past once you get past 25. Look, I don't think, and Michaela, don't get mad at me about this, because I think you're an old soul and I think you're very wise. In fact, you're probably more adult than me half the time. But I don't think anybody really has much shit figured out till after they're 25 at least.
Totally.
In my life, the difference between 21-year-old Chasta and like 27-year-old Chasta was like light years difference, because just of life experience, right? Like, you just gain so much in your life experience as you head towards 30, and then it's different.
I would even say like 21-year-old me versus 30-year-old me is light years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No
Like I would say
question about
by
it.
the time I hit my 30s, I was like finally more confident in myself and who
Yeah.
I am, what I like, what I don't like, what I
Yeah.
want to do with my free time, what I don't, what my interests are, and what I want to accomplish in my life. So that's
Yeah.
the other thing too, is like for Mark, he's probably pretty set in his ways. And this female coworker is probably still figuring things out. So
Yeah.
I
26,
mean,
I feel like she's getting close to figuring some stuff out. But like if you flip this around, and what's interesting is like my niece is on the line here. She's in the comments. Michaela, if you were looking to like just date around, I would say date guys your age. That's fine. If
yeah,
you were really like, no, I'm not really into dating, like I want to start like finding somebody that I
okay.
really like want to be with, I would be like late 20s and older. Like I would not even waste my time with any guy under like 28 to 30.
Maybe from the female's perspective, maybe this woman is like figuring out what she wants, and
Yeah.
maybe she's more closer to settling down. So maybe that's why she's looking for someone older and more mature that
Has
kind of
some stability in their life too.
yeah,
You
that
know?
matches her goals, so that I could see how that works as far as this person is like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna date older because they're gonna match what I'm looking for out of life right now.
I mean, when I went from my first husband to my second husband, and I didn't date anybody in between, by the way, not seriously. My first husband was my age, and let me just be clear here because we are speaking on a live podcast and I cannot edit this. I love him. He is a very good man, very good man. He and I are still friends to this day, but he and I were the same age, and he was a very young 22 when we got married. Like we were babies.
Man child.
Babies. Man child. Like he's great now, but at the time we were babies. I was more mature for a 22-year-old than he was. I think he would agree with that. That's why when I got divorced, I was like, none of that. And so I wasn't necessarily looking for someone older, but I definitely was looking for somebody who knew what they wanted, had, stability in their life, was headed a specific direction and all that. And Jay was that guy. I mean, he was, again, he's 8.5 years older than me. So he had his shit together. And there's something to be said for that. So I don't know. I don't trip up about age all that much. Like, to be honest, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I certainly wouldn't give a shit what other people think because I just don't care in general.
And I'm sure there's some guys listening to this, playing devil's advocate, listening to this, like, dude, just go have fun with her and, and let it be. Just have fun and move on. Yeah. But then again, if you're working with someone, that's going to be kind of awkward to still see them in the workspace.
That's the part we actually haven't touched on. I'm glad you brought that up because that actually is a little bit more dicey to me than the age part.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. You want was it dip your pen in company ink?
Yeah,
as
exactly.
they say. So I think if anything, that might be more the reason to hold up on that. Be like, nah, you probably shouldn't do that at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they had a date yet, but like it might be better off.
Yes. So it doesn't sound like he's, at least by the time he sent this, it doesn't sound like he had gone.
I think it might be just best for him if this is a career or workplace that he wants to have long-term stability at. It'd probably be in his best interest not to spend time with her. Just the fact it's a coworker more than the age thing.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that's where it gets dicey. Okay, let's do one more here. Okay. I'll let you choose. I want to let my son know he's safe. Oh, wait, let's see what this is about. Okay. That's deep. Or do we want, I want to be supportive, but.
Ooh, say that again. What was the first one?
The first one is about the child being potentially gay.
Okay.
The second one is about I want to be supportive about my teenage son's interest. Which one do you want to go with?
They're both about being supportive for your child.
I know, in different ways. Actually, we could do those kind of as like both in one because I feel like we'll hit a lot of the same.
Do the I'm gonna try. Maybe do the Kevin one first. I think that might be easier.
Okay, I definitely don't want to slip and say a last name on one of them because I don't want to out a kid for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go to Kevin. Okay, so Kevin, my teenage son, is full of ideas and interest, which I love, but he never sticks to any of them. 1 month it's guitar, the next it's coding, then he's over that and wants to build a YouTube channel. Every time I get on board, I buy the supplies, I help him get set up, cheer him on, and then 2 weeks later it's gathering dust. What's frustrating is that anytime I suggest something, even just trying something together, he shuts it down. I want to be a supportive dad, but I also want to teach him about commitment and follow through. How do I walk the line between encouraging him and enabling his flakiness? That's interesting.
My initial reaction, this kid's just a late bloomer. I think that's the thing.
Oh, did he say an age? I don't see an age of his kid on here. It just says
teenage son. So probably what, 13 to 17?
Probably. Yeah.
I just think this kid is probably still figuring out who he is as a person. I mean, shit. I thought in high school I knew everything, what I was, what I wanted to do. And by the time I hit my 20s, it was a whole new world. That's one thing when I was coaching basketball at Ensenada, I used to tell all my guys, you have no idea. High school is really just a 4-year window. You're just in this bubble of high school life and the people you deal with. Wait until you're 18, you graduate high school and you enter the real world. Your mind's going to get so explode, like just open up. And it's like, oh my God, it's a whole new world. And you're going to learn so much more about yourself and other people and what your interests, real interests are. To me, like I remember as a kid, like I think most people can relate. When you're in high school, you think that's all that life is. It's just who you deal with, who you talk to.
It is.
That's it. You're in this, like I said, this bubble. But wait until you hit the real world and your mind is going to be blown at just how big this world really is. So, and that's exciting. But that's what I'm getting at is like this kid is just still figuring out who he is, what he wants, what he likes to do. And probably is not till he gets older and starts figuring out maybe what his real interests are. And like I said, it just feels like a late bloomer. I mean, I was like that too. I was kind of flaky with doing different things, starting different projects. And then it wasn't until I got older and like, okay, what do I like? What do I want to do? What are my personal career goals? And those are the hobbies that I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I think, by the way, Sheena said, I still have the mentality of a 12-year-old boy or a girl. I think farts are funny, always and forever. Sheena, you're our people. Farts are funny, whether you're 12 or 40. It does not matter, at least in my opinion. I mean, I get paid to talk about farts, for God's sake.
I accidentally farted around her. So sure.
Oh, no. Did she laugh? I hope she laughed.
Oh, yeah, she laughed.
Okay, if she's still here commenting, that's a good sign.
I was sneezing or coughing and a fart came out.
Stop it. Are you serious? Oh my God. I've been there. That sucks. That's like you didn't know it was coming. You didn't know there was one on deck. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap.
Oh, I don't have a fart sound effect here.
I was going to say, we don't have one. We need to add one because I'm pretty sure we could use that. But yeah, what I was going to say is I think he's finding himself. You know, I think like, with Cody, he's almost 9. And for a while, he wasn't really into anything between, and I know this is really young and we didn't have high expectations, but from like 5 to like 7.5, he was not like, he wasn't into baseball, didn't really care about soccer, nothing really grabbed him except drawing. And then all of a sudden, like the world opened up to him and he like started gravitating really towards banjo and music right now. But I would say like, to be honest with you, am I frozen? It looks like I'm frozen.
I can still hear you. You're still going.
Okay. I don't know why I'm frozen like that. That's
You're in deep thought right now. That's what it looks like. Go ahead. Keep talking, though. That's hilarious. Oh, Chas is in deep thought right now. I guess I'll hold down the fort till her computer catches up with us. She's stuck in a vortex right now, the Chasta vortex. So, but yeah, for me personally, I was going to say, so I remember growing up, I had a lot of different interests that I was going through. Like one year I liked, I don't know, collecting Legos or building Legos. And then you get older and you're into like, I mean, hell, I remember as a kid, like in the Power Rangers one year, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles another year, your interests just grow as a kid. And I think, especially in high school, there's a pressure to figure out what you want to do by the time you're 18. I think a lot of people expect you to know what to do with your life and what are you going to do as an adult for the rest of your life once you hit 18 years old. And Chasta just left. So, all right, I'm still on live right now. Wow. I'm by myself talking to myself. Hopefully she comes right back. Let me text her right now. I think she's restarting her computer right now. Probably that's what's going on. So, hi, everybody. Watching me talk solo. I'm doing like a solo show right now. It's kind of weird, trippy. So yeah, I'm Chasta thing be right back. Let me see. Text her right now. Okay, she's rebooting her computer right now. Okay. I should put her on here, how about this? Let's do this real quick. I got an idea. Hold on. I'm gonna FaceTime her. I'm gonna FaceTime her while we're on the podcast right now. See if this happens. Oh. I think she's coming back right now.
There we go. Hold on.
I was gonna FaceTime you, be like, okay, here's a quick resolve, like FaceTiming you.
I have no idea what happened. Literally, that terrified me. My computer just turned off, and then it almost looked like screen of death kind of thing. And I was like, oh God. So I still don't know I don't really know what happened because it's not dead. It's at like 45%. It's okay.
I was just talking to myself, which I'm used to.
I know, right? Yeah, no problem. Well, I mean, we do get paid to talk to ourselves in a box. So what are you going to do?
Last thing I heard was Cody between 5 and 8 had different interests, pick up the banjo. So now he's figuring out some other interests he's into. And your face is frozen again. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. It's catching up. It's catching up right now. And this is hilarious. This is why I do love going live for our podcast. You get this type of stuff, and there's no point editing it. I can't hear you. Oh.
Okay, there we go. Is that better?
There you go. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I closed out every tab I have just in case. That was
hilarious. I loved it. This is what I love about going live on YouTube. This stuff. This is entertaining.
This is entertaining. You never know what's gonna happen.
Okay.
That's funny. Okay, where was this? I don't even know where I was.
Okay, you said Cody between 5 and 8 was.
Oh yeah, so he didn't really have like a whole lot of interest, and we were like, oh no, is our kid not going to be anything? Obviously, we were probably stressing a little too soon, but then he did finally gravitate towards stuff, and it was interesting. But what I was going to say is like, I think I know adults. I think you probably do too. Yeah. I know adults that still have not figured out. They may be in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Hey,
we're live, Tommy. You're live to all the listeners. Say hi. Say hi. Hi.
I know adults, 40, 50 year old adults that don't really know what they're into. And even still, like, there are things that I personally would love to be into. But when you use the word flakiness, I don't know that that's the best term because, like, I love gardening. I love like growing things and then cooking with them makes me really happy, but it takes a lot of effort. And so obviously that's not a priority in my life because I don't put out the effort to have a perfect garden. So like, is that flaky or is that just my priorities are not leaning towards that? You know what? I would just give him grace. He's finding out who he is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I felt like in high school, and I don't know if it's still like that today, but I felt like in high school, there was a lot of pressure, I think, from teachers, supervisors, advisors, whatever their names are, all that.
Yeah.
They expect you to know what you want to do with your life by the time you graduate. By the time you're 18 years old and hit adulthood, you're supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life, career-wise and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I tell like the kids I was coaching, dude, you got so much time ahead of you to figure that out. So don't feel that pressure right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like for this parent here, don't pressure your kid to know what he wants to do right away. I think that's part of growing up, the growing pains of like year after year, like you're figuring out different hobbies or interests that you're in, do it, test it out. And it's like, oh, okay, it's not what I want. Move on to the next thing. And who knows, maybe they'll circle back to it at some point. I mean, there's some things I was into that I came back to afterwards.
Sure.
After a few years. Yeah, it's trial by error, to test it out. So don't pressure anyone to feel like they need to figure out what they need to do with themselves right away. Like let them figure it out for themselves and like organically get to that point of like, okay, this is what I like doing. I'm going to do this for a while, whatnot. So yeah, don't pressure them.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to be honest with your child. Like, hey, if you're worried about the money part, like I noticed in the email, like you're worried about like buying all the things. Maybe you don't need to buy all the things, or maybe you need to teach this as a lesson and say, hey, if you really want a YouTube channel, save up your money. Maybe they have a job or they earn money around the house, whatever. Yeah. If you really want to do this YouTube channel, then they need to invest in themselves. I mean, we're doing that with Cody and he's going to be 9 in 2 months. Like he already, like if he wants to buy something, he saves up his trash money and now it's going to be his dog poop money. He saves up that money and then he goes and spends it, or he gives it to me and I buy whatever he wants online. So, I think there are lessons to be learned there.
That's you're right. I think if there's an interest that they're into, they got to earn it to like, if
because it's very easy to be interested in something when somebody else is footing the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be interested in everything.
But yeah, if there's a hobby or something you want to do and requires some physical thing to it, yes, make them earn the money to pay for it. Cause then they're more likely going to keep at it. I was trying to remember who was I listening to interview wise. Was it the Rob Flynn interview, or I can't remember. Like recently, I was listening to an artist do an interview, and they said their parents bought them like a really cheap guitar and said, "Okay, if you want to learn to play guitar, learn how to play on this. Prove to me you're interested in this, and if you start playing consistently, then we'll buy you a new one and upgrade you at some point in the near future." I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Rob Flynn or someone else, but like the parents didn't have a lot of money and they bought them like a cheap guitar. And it's like, okay, prove yourself with this. And if you're really interested in long term or into this, we'll buy you more equipment as they come, or you can save money and buy yourself more equipment later. So that I mean, I just think how many great artists, that's where they all start with like a cheap instrument at some point.
Exactly. And that's part of their story. Like, oh yeah, I got this cheap instrument. I think that it really is. This is a parenting moment for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Give them the power. Next thing they come up with, if it's tennis or pickleball or whatever, then they need to buy their gear, and or maybe they go to a pickleball gym or something and they pay for their membership, whatever it is. I think if they're financially invested, that's going to like challenge them to be more invested.
I remember, I think I took all my recycle money and bought a new basketball one year.
Yeah.
But I bought two kinds, like one that you play outdoors, like on cement and stuff, like, on park hoops or the hoop in the backyard that we have.
Yeah.
And then like the nice, like leather ones that you only play indoors, like on nice basketball courts. And I remember I bought one of those. And I was like, oh, I'm protecting my baby. This is my baby, my basketball.
Totally.
So,
my parents let me think I was buying a horse. I really wanted a horse. I asked them for a horse for years and years and years. And I saved up for $275, I think, which is, I thought was enough to buy a horse. Obviously it wasn't, but they never told me that they spent whatever. I don't even know what the rest of it was. I don't know what they spent on this little Shetland pony, but anyway, they helped buy this horse, but they gave me the power of thinking I did that for myself. And I think I grew up many years after that being very proud. I bought my own horse, that I put my money and my effort into. And I was doing my little chores to save up my pennies, So I think there's a lot to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to email us anytime for Huey help, do so, chastaandhuey@gmail.com. It's free to do so. Everything we do here is free for right now.
We're free. We don't charge for crap, although maybe we should. But look how many people we just helped, Huey.
Absolutely. A ton of people.
Well done.
So if you're watching this right now, go ahead, leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the Huey helps we covered today. What are your advice? What are your tips? So leave a comment down below or share this with other people if there's something that we talked about that could help someone else. So please share this with other people as well. And please follow us on social at Chasta and Huey. Like I said, email as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps out a lot. Give a thumbs up to this video as well.
Yes, and thank you to everybody live in the comments. It's so much fun. And it seems Sheena thought it was very touching that you farted in front of her.
It didn't smell.
I love that. Oh, that's good. Well, thank God. If it doesn't smell, who cares? Then it's just whatever. It's poof. You poofed. You didn't even fart. You poofed.
Yeah. It just smelled like cologne, I think.
I don't want to know why. All right, kids. Thank you so much for being here as always. And chastaandhuey@gmail.com. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.